The Trinity is the new religion that was introduced by the Roman Empire that is not in the Bible or the teachings of Jesus. Can you show me the Trinity in the Bible or the teachings of Jesus?
Oh, you got me, bro. You got me.
I know.
So, when
Where's the Trinity? Can you tell me where the Trinity is
when we
in the Bible?
the Council of Nicaea, like, stop with the sources, bro. Stop with the sources, bro. Stop with the sources, bro. I agree Christians are too tolerant, and it's a side effect of being the most forgiving because they have the most forgiving God. That's why they are the largest religion on earth.
So if I hate you in your face, you'll give me the other cheek?
You can try.
Okay, that means no. So you're not following your book.
That's not
This is exactly, that's a very unrealistic belief that Christians, the truth is Christians claim that they are forgiven, but they're not.
Zherka believes Christianity built the greatest civilizations on earth as long as we ignore the first 1,800 years, the plagues, and the part where Muslims were running hospitals.
I agree Christians are too tolerant, and it's a side effect of being the most forgiving because they have the most forgiving God. That's why they are the largest religion on earth.
So if I hate you in your face, you'll give me the other cheek?
You can try.
Okay, that means no. So you're not following your book.
That's not
This is exactly, that's very unrealistic.
The claim that Christianity inherently produces forgiving, tolerant, and morally superior societies collapses the moment history beyond the last 200 years is considered. For roughly 1,600 of Christianity's 2,000-year history, Christian nations were not humane, advanced, or clean. They were plagued by constant wars, feudal brutality, inquisitions, witch hunts, religious massacres, and recurring pandemics driven by extreme lack of hygiene and scientific stagnation. Entire populations died during outbreaks like the Black Death, not because of moral deficiency elsewhere, but because Christian Europe lacked basic sanitation. During the same centuries, Muslim civilizations were thriving, pioneering hospitals, public baths, sewage systems, clean water infrastructure, universities, astronomy, medicine, and law. To judge Christian civilization based only on the post-Enlightenment, post-industrial West, after Christianity had already lost institutional control to secularism, is methodologically dishonest. A 200-year snapshot cannot be projected backward to justify 1,800 years of historical failure.
You guys never once won against Christians, and you guys are taught to have 4 kids. You still can't grow as fast. 500 million souls behind. You lost to a dude saying, turn the other cheek. Like, that's crazy to me.
You serious?
The ironic part about that claim is that it doesn't match history at all. Out of the major Crusade campaigns, depending on how you count them, usually 8 to 9 main ones, only the First Crusade achieved a lasting objective, and even that control was temporary. The overwhelming majority of later Crusades ended in failure, withdrawal, or loss of territory, with Muslim powers ultimately regaining Jerusalem and maintaining long-term control of the region. So the idea that Christians never lost to Muslims is simply false. Historically, Christian Europe poured enormous resources into these campaigns for nearly 2 centuries and still failed to establish permanent dominance in the Holy Land. Meanwhile, Muslim civilizations continued to expand intellectually, economically, and politically during much of that same period.
I'm saying the collective, right? The collective of Christians in total, not me, not the individual, the collective is a lot more merciful and forgiving than the collective of Buddhists, Muslims, or anything else. Do we agree on that?
No.
Even during periods when Christianity held significant political power, its historical record does not consistently reflect the tolerance often attributed to it. In South America, European Christian expansion led to the widespread destruction of indigenous societies, including forced religious conversions, loss of cultural identity, and systems of exploitation, all carried out by state-backed empires that operated with religious justification rather than as isolated actors. In more recent history, claims of Christian moral exceptionalism also face challenges. For example, U.S. President George Bush publicly stated that his decisions during the Iraq conflict were guided by his faith, yet the outcome was massive loss of life, long-term instability, and the breakdown of social structures whose effects are still felt today. If forgiveness and restraint were inherently guaranteed by Christianity at the civilizational level, we would expect power to be exercised with greater caution and humility during moments of dominance. Instead, history shows repeated instances where religious identity was used to legitimize expansion, coercion, and large-scale conflict. Therefore, pointing to modern secular countries with Christian demographics as proof of Christianity's peaceful nature is a correlation, not evidence of causation, and does not demonstrate that these outcomes are the result of Christian doctrine itself.
Your book talks about stoning, right? Would you ever do it? That's what or do you follow your book, or are you a phony?
Yeah, absolutely. We follow everything that is in the
Okay,
Quran and
cool.
is in the Hadith. So, but
So
there
you-
are
you would
rules. There
stone
are
a
due.
woman.
No, there are due process. These things are not done by individuals. They're done by the court. They're done by the Islamic government, Sharia state, and that is under a Sharia Islamic state. And it has to be done by the government. There's no vigilantism. You cannot go and do it yourself.
Zherka's strategy throughout the debate was not to prove Christianity true, but to attack Islam's coherence, repeatedly asking whether Muslims follow their book perfectly, highlighting Islamic legal punishments, and framing Islam as rigid or punitive. This is not an argument for Christianity. It is a deflection tactic. One religion's alleged strictness does not validate another's truth. This approach reveals a weakness. Zherka could not positively ground Christian theology, so he attempted to win by negative comparison alone. That wasn't really a defense of Christianity, it was more just poking Islam and hoping the audience fills in the rest. When Muslim Lantern pressed a decisive question, is Jesus also the God of the Old Testament?
Okay, is Jesus? Do you believe in the Trinity?
Yes, there's a new covenant. That's the whole point.
Do you believe in? No. I'm
Yes.
asking a question. Do you believe in the
Yes.
Trinity? Who's
Yes,
the God
it's
of
the
the Old
same
Testament?
God. Yes, it's the same. Yes.
So who commanded Deuteronomy 13? Was it Jesus or some other God?
It's a new covenant.
You're not answering the question. Who commanded that commanded Deuteronomy 13? Was it God, Jesus, or another God?
It's the same.
Zherka avoided answering directly. This question forces a dilemma. If Jesus is God, then Jesus authored Old Testament laws involving warfare and capital punishment. If those laws were immoral, then Jesus was morally wrong, contradicting Christian doctrine. Zherka never resolved this. Instead of answering whether Jesus' morality changes over time or whether divine commands can be morally problematic, he shifted topics. This is a textbook deflection and leaves the core theological issue unresolved.
Jesus was just a prophet who came down and accidentally started a religion bigger than yours, started a lot of ruckus, a lot of commotion. He made just a lot of commotion, and then he just floated up to heaven. What the was the point of that?
The Trinity is the new religion that was introduced by the Roman Empire that is not in the Bible or the teachings of Jesus. Can you show me the Trinity in the Bible or the teachings of Jesus?
You got me, bro. You got me.
I know.
So when
Where is the Trinity? Can you tell me where the Trinity is in the Bible?
The Council of Nicaea, like, stop with the sources, bro.
On the Trinity itself, Zherka offered no premises, no scriptural citations from Jesus, and no logical explanation. He simply assumed its truth and treated it as secondary or symbolic, implying it works because Christianity works. That is a pragmatic claim, not a theological one. Zherka never demonstrated how three distinct persons are one God without contradiction, nor showed Jesus explicitly teaching this formulation.